First of all, new stick is very lightweight, leverless. If you're gonna play KoF, don't use one of these, because KoF requires you to hit your diagonals for your quarter circles. And levers with a square gate really make it easy to hit your diagonals. It's pretty loud. There we go. How to hit your diagonals and your cardinals for your quarter circles. You have to hit all three. K-dash activate plus CD. So BCD. Oops. Good evening. I can't do that guy's voice. Good evening. Good evening. I can't do it. I'm not a voice actor. I always get CD. Oh, that was weird. That was okay. If you plink. If you plink it a certain way, you'll get jump D. If you press all three buttons at the same time, you get CD every time. But if you press D first, before you press the other two buttons, then you'll get... If you press D and then C, like this, then you get the jump D. So it's not about the direction, it's about when you when you press D. So on 2 consecutive, so you need to, okay. This game lets you plink certain things. EX moves you can't plink. If you're even 1 frame off of your 2 inputs, you'll get the non-EX version. But CDs you can plink, so look at... right there. Look at my inputs. Oh. I'm not pressing the buttons at the same time. I'm pressing them 1 frame apart. 1 frame apart. It goes CD as well as DC. This is actually a lot more than 1 frame, but... And the same goes for HD mode. You see that? I'm pressing B and then C. And look, it goes B, C, and the game's like, oh, okay, we'll give you B plus C. Although, if I tap it, you don't get it at all. Like that, see? B, C. Not on the same frame. So... you can do jump CD or jump HD as a plink, or as 2 consecutive frames, just to make the game easier. Like, they don't want you to have to press 2 buttons at once. So let's say this is your first frame, this is your second frame. This is your result. If I press B and then CD, I'll get CD plus HD in the air. Because I press CD on the same frame. If I do C and then BD, I don't get jumps. So let me actually test this out. I haven't tested it yet. So, one button. Yeah, you get jump C. This gives you C plus HD. And if you press D plus BC, this is the one I showed earlier, you get, well, it's not exactly the same, but you get D plus HD. So basically what this means is it looks at your first input. And it looks to see if you did CD. Okay, hold on. B into CD. This might actually not be CD. Hold on. It's gonna be hard to do this. There it is. Jumping light kick. So this is actually wrong. Right? So notice the move you get, the move you get when jumping is the same as the move you hit on the first frame. Right? So if I press them all if I press them all at the same time, I'll get CD. If I press CD and then B, I'll get CD. If I press B and then CD, I'll get B. If I press D and then BC, I'll get D. If I press C and then BD, I'll get C. So if I want to get a jump D with the HD activation, then I have to make sure to press D first. I can also press B plus D, because B plus D also gives you jump D, unless you have a... there are some characters that have moves, like Robert. You can't do this with Robert, because Robert will give you his cross-up taco move. This thing's really loud. So this is jump light kick, jump B, jump D, and jump CD. He also has jump B plus D, which is his cross up. so if I do, oh, he can't even do it. He doesn't even get HD. You can't car cancel this into HD. But BD takes priority over CD, so if you press them all at the same time, you'll get HD plus BD. So if you want to do HD and CD, you'd have to do CD then B. Which might not even work. Huh. Maybe it's not possible. Interesting. If I do... Yeah. Robert's weaker in this sense. Because his BD takes priority over everything else. This is hard to do. Yeah. That's hard. There we go. No, that's still gonna be... Okay, there we go. He can do jump D by doing D and then C plus B. He could probably do B. No, he can't. So Robert's weaker here because he has a jump BD. It messes with the input system. Thankfully, most characters don't need to do jump HDs. It's really only like Yuri and Iori who need to do jump HDs. Maybe like Betty Maru. Oh god. That drive cancel is gonna be horrible on this. Whew. Ash is fun and simple? I mean, Ash is fun and simple if you play him on point. Oh god, half circles. Whoa. I do agree that the complexity of Ash is basically entirely in his combos. Although you do have like the running charge thing where you can hold down forward and get an up charge. I can't do half circles. It's too hard. Theoretically the hardest what do you mean hardest? Like, if you want to optimize every character, I mean, probably Daimon. Because you have to do, this is what Daimon does for optimal damage. But no one does it. Plus you have Flamey already, infinites are hard. Duolon doesn't really have one frame links. I mean, he does, but usually not. You usually don't do them. The hard part about Duolon is, like, he can convert off of strange things if you do it right. And knowing exactly what conversions are possible and what aren't possible is difficult. But Daimon has to do this move, because it does 200 freaking damage. And he can cancel into the roll. And then he can cancel the roll into this move. So he does this. And that combos into itself. I can't do it, because I'm too slow. This is Persona Entertainment, Daimon video. Wait, what? That's not the video I want. That's not Persona Entertainment. This one. Give me HD mode. There we go. Oh no, this is not it. Where is it? This one? No. This one? There it is. Oh, he did one of them. Tit. There we go. 500 damage before he even gets off the ground. That's also hard. You have to hit the meaty, with the air grab, the meaty air grab. And it, like, glitches out. One more. Shit. So those are hard. I can't even do them. Takuma has one frame link stun combos, but the one frame link's the only hard part about the combo. Same with Vice. Takuma has to land like 3 or 4 of them. Vice has to land like 6. Vice can get 2 HDs in one combo. Oh, I missed it? Oh, it's a half circle, of course. I can't do it. I can't do half circles. How is that not a half circle? I don't understand. That's a one frame link. Yeah. I can't do it. So in Tekken doesn't have very many half circles, but it does have them, like on King. And you don't need to hit the down. That input would work in Tekken 8 for a half circle, but not this game. You have to hit left, down, right. Though you have to hit those 3 directions. If you hit those 3 directions, you get a half circle. If you don't hit those three directions, you don't get a half circle. So the extra diagonals don't matter, but you can put them in there. In fact, you could even do crazy stuff like this, and you'll still get it. Well, there I did it in order, but whatever. Whew. Why doesn't that give... Oh. Because, yeah, I need to do this. So this stick comes with 2 modes. The first mode... Here, let's go back to the first mode, which I was on earlier. The default mode is... So... It has to do with SOCD, so which direction you press. So on most arcade sticks, most controllers, you can't hold left and right at the same time. But if you're on a keyboard or if you're on some sort of leverless controller like this one, you can, because each button is its own button. So I can press both. same time. So setting 1 for this stick is to say the most recent input overrides if both are held at the same time. So if I press left and then right, she walks to the right. If I press right and then left, she walks to the left. I'm still holding both. Right, left, right plus left, she goes right. Right, left plus right, she goes left. Same with up and down. If I go down and then up, she goes up. If I go up and then down, she goes down. That's mode 1. The other mode, which I can access by holding L3 and R3 for 3 seconds, is the one most people use, which is left plus right is neutral. So if I go left and then right, she stands still. If I go right then left, she stands still. If I go up and down, she stands still. Up, down and up, she stands still. This is the most common because it lets you do weird things. You can hold left and then tap right to get a backdash. Well, to get a left dash, and hold right and tap left to get a right dash. So right, tap left. Right, tap left. Because when you tap left, it goes to neutral. So you're doing right, neutral, right. KoF has very few uses for this, just by the way the game is. But if you're playing a game like Tekken, there are several uses. Also, there's the insanely bad downside of your quarter circles and your half circles are really hard. Like, that was a good half circle. That was good. That was good. That was good. But if I'm too... Oh my god. I missed one diagonal. There we go. That wouldn't have worked because I missed the down. It's very easy to miss your down during... There we go. I did it again. It's very easy to miss your down during a half circle, and in this game, that makes it so that you don't get the half circle. You actually don't get the quarter circle either, because you need both. Or you need it for both. See? It doesn't work. So the way I do it is I consciously hold the first direction, and then I let go and do a quarter circle. Like that. So I think of it as two different inputs. So that way I only need to master the quarter circle. I don't need to master the half circle. Because I'm just making a half circle, holding one direction, and then doing a quarter circle. What's your super? It's kick, I think. Yeah. I did the same thing on stick, by the way, where all of my quarter circles were half circles. And then if I needed to not do a half circle somewhere, I would consciously be like, okay, start down. Anyway. Bow, 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 bow. I just did your trials. Well, like 2 of them. That looks right. What? Oops. I'm too slow. No, I failed on the half circle, really? That's not right. Oops. Oh my god. Are the combo trials practical for matches? A handful of them, yes. Most of them, no. I mean, trial mode can be like a challenge mode. Like, I want to do something that's hard. Also, you can think of it as, well, maybe pieces of the combos are good, but other pieces are not. And it's just trying to give you, like, examples of what's possible within the combo system. But no, most of the trials you're not going to actually do in a match. Some of them are puzzling because it doesn't tell you like where to delay or like when you need to walk or things like that. It doesn't tell you which ones are cancels and which ones aren't cancels. So it's sort of puzzly that way too, although you can look at the demo to get that. Oops. I can't do this trial. This is actually pretty hard on this controller. Wow. Oh, I missed the button. That was great. My last controller had very shallow buttons, but these buttons are like way up off the controller. My hand hurt from Leona charge loops. Leona was the third character's trials that I beat in the game. So let's talk about shortcuts. I'm not on a stick, but on stick there are several shortcuts that you can use. Let me pick a different trial. So the first thing you should obviously know is that holding down back will charge both. So you need to do that. If you're not doing that, well, you're probably not going to be able to do it. But you can also, for her down up charge, you can do any of the ups, including up left. So I can go from down left to up left and still get Moon Slasher. Which means that you can actually do the same thing but sideways for the other one. So I can hold up left, and go to up forward for the Sonic Boom motion. Up left, up forward. So on your square gate stick, you can go from down back, up back plus punch, up forward plus kick. Which looks like this. Like that. And I have no meter. That's pretty horrible on a hitbox, which is what I'm using. So there's the other version, which is you can do down back to up forward for both, because you're holding down and then going up, but you're also going left to right. So you can do it like this. Like that. So down back, up forward punch kick. Like that. Oh, I dropped it. HD. Too fast. Too fast. Too fast. There it was. Too fast. Yeah, like that. Whatever, you get the point. On a hitbox, what's the best thing you can do? I'll probably just do it like that. I would do it, I'll probably do it as, so hold left the whole time, well not the whole time. There's a stick advantage for this whole game. This whole game does not cater well to hitbox. It might be the only fighting game that hitbox is not the best controller. Just because of how much precision you need to hit your downs. You can't do half circles without including the straight down. If you only do the diagonals, you don't get a half circle. You can't do 4, 1, 3, 6. You need to hit that too. Otherwise you won't get a half circle. Same with your quarter circles. You can't do like down, back, down, forward, forward for a quarter circle. I actually don't know about that. I think you have to go down, down, forward, forward for your quarter circles. And there's not very many advantages either. Like if you're playing Tekken, you know, your Korean backdash where you hold left and then tap down, then right, down, right, down, right. That doesn't exist because you just have regular backdashes. You don't crouch cancel. And in Tekken, there's not a lot of like motions. You just press a direction plus a button. Maybe you double tap a direction. maybe you triple tap a direction. But in this game, you're doing you're constantly moving your left hand in fast motions, and that'll just destroy your hand if you're on a hitbox. It's not impossible, but it's just it's not. The game's a lot harder. You're saying I need to drop some money on a stick? No. Is there a single character in this game without a half circle? You have one. You have one. You have 75 of them. I don't know if you have one. Bird Knuckle. I guess charged characters don't have half circles. But I mean, charged characters on Hitbox are also pretty bad. For the upcharge, at least. And again, my controller doesn't do the thumb thing, where you can do the thumb, so maybe that's a little bit easier. I don't think he has any half circles. He has the one super. Yeah, he has no half circles outside of his super. Power Geyser is a half circle, despite what it looks like. There we go. I literally input the move the way it's in the command list. And it doesn't work. Right? That's literally what it is in the command list. It doesn't work. Down, down, back, back, down, back, forward. Command list. Down, down, back, back, down, back, forward. It doesn't work. The written command in the command list does not work. It's actually just the same as all the other supers. It's quarter circle, and then half circle, and then punch. So that input would work. Down, down, back, back, down, forward, punch. Those are the directions you need. Yeah, this game will make you do that. Chances are they weren't slow, the game's just fast. The game's just faster than every other fighting game in the world. Except for older KOFs. I like this game. Screen refresh rate also affects the game? I don't think so. Well, what do you mean affects the game? Like, it affects the game in terms of how it looks, but it's not like you're gonna desync from the opponent if you have different screen refresh rates. Let's guard crush. You literally couldn't hit a combo, or it was just like harder? Because I had a bug one time where the game was literally running at the wrong speed. Like, all the animations were sped up. And I had to lock the frame rate. I can't do it. So, okay. Well, it was possible that you had the same glitch as me where the game was too fast. But mine was like super fast because I had unlocked frame rate. So like it was impossible to control the menu at all because it would just Well, I did it, but it was too slow. Okay, give me meter. Ow, my hand already hurts. Whew. Ow. Ow. Yeah, you can't do this without the cancel. Too fast? Too fast, I think. What do I like about this game? A lot of things. Let's start with why I like KoF over other series of fighting games. You can take you can take your success in any fighting game and say the player with the most skill wins. Okay, and let's just say that's the definition of skill is any factor within the person that determines how often they win and against which opponents they win against. If that's the case, then there are 3 general categories of skill. You have execution, knowledge, and adaptation. So 3 major skills. Where execution is just the... Okay, so knowledge is a combination of general game knowledge and just how the pieces interact. Like, if I know if I know what my opponent is going to do I know how to beat that? Right? Knowing what your opponent is going to do is adaptation. But if you know what your opponent's going to do, knowing how you can beat that and how all the different options interact with each other is knowledge. And forming a strategy in general is knowledge-based. Execution is being able to do what you want to do. So reaction time, combos, yeah, all of that. And then there's this weird middle ground between knowledge and execution, where the more you do something, the faster you can react with it. So for example, in Tekken, block punishment is a very important thing, but it's like sometimes you don't remember immediately if their move is like -12 or -13 or -14, so you just always do the -12 punish, because you're not, it takes you too long to recall exactly what the block advantage was, right? So there's this weird middle ground between execution and knowledge, which is that, I don't even know what to call it, but it's a combination of those two, I guess. But these are the three categories of things that determine whether or not you win in a game. And different games will weigh these differently. And people often talk about the skill floor and the skill ceiling, or the barrier of entry and the skill ceiling. There is no barrier of entry to any fighting game. You can literally, I mean, there's a money barrier. You have to pay $20 to buy the game, or $60 depending on how new the game is. And then you're playing it, right? So that's the barrier of entry, is playing it. But then there's this like artificial barrier that says, well, you can't play Sakura in a Street Fighter 4 unless you do 1 and 2 frame links. It's like, okay, you technically can. I don't know why you're saying you can't, but it would be accurate to say that if you can't do 1 or 2 frame links, then you probably would see a lot higher success with a different character, right? So there is this artificial line that says, well, most players who play this character in this game can do this. So if you can't do this, you probably shouldn't play the character. So there's that line. And then there's the skill ceiling, which is like, well, I can't get any better. It's not humanly possible to get any better with this character in this game. So there's the three main points, but there's also landmarks in between. Like there's the easy combo and then there's the hard combo, but it's not too hard that it's not possible to do, but it's not so easy that you should be able to do it every time. And so basically different players will be rewarded with different success rates based on how much of these skills they have, and different games will put different landmarks at different points. For example, if you're playing, I don't know, Street Fighter 5, the skill ceiling is incredibly low in all of these. Which means that if you have, you know, a person who's pretty good, they've peaked at the game. The only thing that they could do differently is change their adaptation, because adaptation you can never really perfect, because humans are so complex. But they've peaked and they have perfect reaction time. They can react to every anti-air. They can block punish everything. They can do all their combos every time, and they have all the game knowledge. They know all the frame data for all the moves in the game, and they know what moves interact in what ways, and they know blah 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 blah. Right? That takes maybe, if I'm pushing it, it takes a year to get that point. If you put everything that you have into it, it'll take you like a year. That's a very liberal estimate. So, okay, what about people who've been playing the game for more than a year? Well, too bad. They've hit the skill ceiling, so that player who's been playing for 1 year is the same as the player who's been playing for multiple years. That's not how it actually works in real life, because people aren't efficient in how they practice and how they lab, so it'll take them more than a year. And people don't... No, puppy. No. And people don't consciously think about why they are doing what they're doing, which means that they plateau before they hit the skill ceiling, because they're not conscious. But theoretically, if a person is very conscious and very lucid about how they interpret the game, then they can hit that skill ceiling pretty quickly. And at that point, it's like a matter of, well, how can I squeeze out my human potential to do things that no other human can? Like, can I hit confirm off of one crouch and medium kick? That's what the game became at high level at the end, was like, how do I push my human limitations? Yeah. And then you compare that to a game like KoF, which has very high skill ceilings in all three of these. Game knowledge being the least of them, but it's still pretty high. It's not as high as Tekken. But there's also not just the amount, but the amount of weight. For example, if you're playing... What's a good example? If you're playing Super Smash Bros. Melee... Well, that's not a very common game. Let's pick a more common game. I think KoF is a good example. I think KoF 15 is a good example. So if you're playing KoF 15, there's nothing too difficult in terms of combo execution. Like I beat all the trials in the game in 5 hours, and that's like 50 characters. So like 5 minutes per character. I can't do that in KoF 13. It's only 15 because the trials in 15 are a joke. You can go to my website here and find the video. There it is. Just go to KoF 15 and then... Oh, hold on, let me find it. KoF 15 combo trials. Yeah, all the trials. Wow, never mind. Two and a half hours, apparently. I probably cut out all the loading times. Let's see. But okay, so execution's not that big of a deal, but you can increase, or I guess decrease, your reaction time. Like push your reaction time down, and that'll make your anti-air better, because you can anti-air with DPs. And so you can push that, and it's hard because it's like the skill ceiling is like every frame is better. So even the best of the best players don't anti-air every single jump. But the best of the best players do tend to pick characters with DPs because they're the best of the best players, so they get more advantage out of having a DP. But the value of having a DP and being able to react with an anti-air is quite low compared to the other two. Like, being able to have a strategy is incredibly important in KoF games, including KoF 15, and being able to adapt to the opponent's working strategy is also incredibly important. Your success in the game is almost entirely contingent upon these two, not this one. Your execution very rarely has an impact on the outcome of a match in KoF. So there's a difference between like a skill floor, skill ceiling, and the weight of something. Like yes, the top players are pushing themselves to have better reaction time because they get a little bit of extra value out of it, so they may as well. But the value you get is extremely low compared to the other two. And so, let's go back to the beginning. Why do I like KoF? Because KoF has a huge emphasis on adaptation, and that's what I prefer in fighting games. If you're playing Tekken, there's a huge emphasis on knowledge because there's so many different moves, and knowing exactly what move does what is very important. And there's a medium amount of emphasis on execution and adaptation. The adaptation becomes a lot more important in high level play, but I'm not there yet. I'm still building knowledge. So I like Tekken. I'll probably like it more if I get good at it, but the getting good process is pretty tedious because it's knowledge based and not adaptation based. Or if you play a game like Super Smash Bros. Melee, it's all this. It's all your reaction time and your execution, because everything you do in that game is like anti-air in KoF. The faster you are, the more rewarded you are. The more perfect you are, the better you are at the actual things in the game. Like, even if you have the perfect read on the opponent and you know the perfect counter, if you're not able to execute that counter in time, then you'll just lose. That's how Melee works. And I really don't like that. Especially since you have to play on a GameCube controller. So yeah, that's the reason why I like KoF over other fighting games. Series. In terms of the series. I think KoF XIII exemplifies that the best out of all of them, and KoF XIII has a cool combo system. I like the drive kit system. Well, I like it on a stick. I'm not on a stick right now, I'm on a hitbox. So that's pretty painful. But if I'm on a stick, I like KoF XIII's combo system. High A, low E, exactly. Well, I don't need it to be... I need it... Okay. Again, you need to distinguish between the skill floor, skill ceiling, and the weight. I want a high weight of the A. I want a heavy adaptation. I want my success to be contingent upon whether or not I have a good read on the opponent. Not on whether or not I can react to drive impacts in time. And not on whether or not I know if a move is plus or is minus 12 or minus 13 or minus 14. And not if I can do one frame lengths. But that's again a personal preference. Why didn't that do the move? Alright, let's try to do one loop of this. Oh, I did it. Cool. First try. That being said, I do find it very annoying when execution is not properly landmarked. And there are two ways that can happen. So one example is if I'm playing a really, really easy game like Grand Blue. It annoys me that my opponents are doing the same combo as me, even if they clearly have never played a fighting game in their life. That annoys me. Cause it's like, well, the combos are too easy, and that is because of the game's like input system. The game's too easy. There's nothing hard in the game, and some people like that, but it's objectively bad. Having a game with nothing difficult, like remotely difficult in it, is bad. It's objectively bad. Because there's a difference between the weight and the floor. You're allowed to have a low skill floor and a high skill ceiling. You're also allowed to have a high skill ceiling with a low execution like weight. Like, give me 5 extra points of damage. Excuse me. Give me 5 extra. Give me 5 extra points of damage for a much harder combo. Please, that's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just 5% more to the opponent's health bar. Because I did a combo they can't do. Most fighting games can't do that. I don't know why. This game does that. You want to stun the opponent with 2 bars and a drive? Better learn how to do 1-frame links. You want to do 2 HDs in 1 combo? Better learn how to do 1-frame links. You want to play Ash? You want to optimize corner combos with K-Dash? Better time those forward light punches. But you don't have to. And that's what I like about KoF, is you don't have to. Short hopping, I would say, is a skill floor. Is a barrier to entry. Using that very abstract term, like you don't have to hop to play the game, but you probably should. So you practice. Super jump. There are just some things you have to practice. And I'm okay with that too. How does this combo feel on Hitbox? Oh, double tapping on this thing is loud. Super loud. Whoops, that's not the right move. Why didn't that work? It is a PXN. PXN. It's backwards, but I promise it says PXN, not NX9. BXN. What should I practice in training mode if I'm new to KoF 15? I have a video on that. I have several videos on that. Practice beating throws. So knock the opponent down, run up to them like this, do this, and set them to down reversal throw. So like back plus heavy punch, and make sure it says reversal so you get it on the first frame. Practice beating that, because if you're in this range, you're not beating it. You have to walk backward 2 pixels. So that you're out of throw range. So if you knock the opponent down, you either have to safe jump them, or you have to be out of throw range, but within range to do a mix-up. So step 1 is learn how the game works on a mechanical level. And step 2 is learn how to beat wake-up throws. And yes, I'm live on Twitch and YouTube and Kick. How did I get a throw? That was random. Why didn't that work? Charge, I guess? Ah. Why didn't that work? Too early, I guess? Why didn't that work? I'm confused. Hey, Gar. Lurk and work? I have an emote for that. That's not right. It's down again. Ah. There it is. 900 damage for 1 bar. Total Major. This character's really strong. Oh, thank you, darling FGC. Oh, there's the alert. Where's my alerts? There we go. Much appreciated. Random. Oh god, not that character. Oh god. Oh god. No thanks. Ganbarimasu! Athena! Not much better, honestly. Let's just do missions. At least it wasn't Raiden. Oh god, nope. Too easy. Okay. Work mode, no problem. If you have any more questions, just ask. Did you just gift a sub without being subbed? Interesting. Is it like cheaper? Not saying that you need a sub, but just saying it's weird that you gave out a sub before having one for yourself first. It's very selfless of you. That's a lot. I find combos like this harder on stick than on hitbox, and I don't know why. Also, I play mature, so this is not like. Don't think her combos are easy just because I do them quickly. I have a lot of experience in Duolon and Mature and Takuma. And Leona. And every character, honestly, but mainly those four. And the Kyos. But the Kyos are pretty easy. That's hard, actually. Huh. That's the wrong move. That's the wrong move. There we go. I missed it. Whoa. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What, that worked? I didn't think that would work. Oh yeah, you do it like this. Whoops. Oh, I dropped it. Ugh. Nope. Too slow. These are 2 frame links. I don't like these buttons. Might try to get them changed. Ah. Whoa, what a weird combo. Oh, cancel that. God dang it. That's pretty hard on Hitbox. Doing the fireball, but doing supers I think I think easier because you do this. I find that easier. But doing the pretzel super is harder. Anything that engages all 3 fingers is pretty hard. This one is really easy. If you're on stick, everything engages your whole hand, basically. Some things don't engage your thumb, I guess. Backwards. Oh, interesting. Nope. Too early. Oops. This is hard. Because I can't double tap. Double tapping turns it into a 4-frame link. But it requires a frame perfect double tap. Which I find easy on my other buttons. These are not Sanwa though. They're like super tall. All right. The puppy's yelling at me, so. Oh. Oh. Hi, puppy. How you doing, puppy? What are you doing? Careful, puppy. Hi. What are you doing? Hi. What are you doing? Careful, puppy. Careful. Careful, puppy. Brah. All right. I'm working, puppy. I'm working, puppy. You're making it very difficult. What are you doing? Oh. Okay. What's your favorite KoF character, puppy? Hmm? I feel like you're a Claw Iori player. Because he has claws. Actually, you're pretty grumpy. You could play either Iori. Iori's a grumpy character. Or maybe you don't like grumpy characters, because they remind you of you. Maybe you want happy characters. Oh, you're probably a Kyo player. Hmm. A weird mix between Bad Boy and... I don't know. Street Fighter VI, good game to learn 2D fighting game. I came from Tekken. What do you mean, good game to learn 2D fighting games? What do you mean, good? What is your goal? Is your goal to play and master every fighting game there is? You want to not suck at what? Do you want to not suck at Street Fighter VI? Then play Street Fighter VI. If you want to not suck at... Well, okay. Street Fighter is not a game. It is a series of games, and every single number in that series is very different. It's not like Tekken, where every Tekken game's the same game, with slight differences. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying Street Fighter is a very different design philosophy from Tekken. It's up to you whether or not you take it as mean. It's not my intention. I'm pretty good at all the games I play? No, I'm not. I'm probably I'm probably... If I get back into shape, I can play KoF games again. But I'm not good at Tekken. I'm okay at Street Fighter VI. Because I played it so much. But I know a lot about the games I play mechanically. Because that's just the type of person I am. I like to break down the mechanics and understand how they work. But that's only one part of the game. That's game knowledge. I suck at everything else. Hi, puppy. Play whatever you want, right? Well, that's why I asked you what you're trying to be good at. Because if you're trying to be good at a specific game, then you should play that game. Yeah, there are other games that might contribute to your skill toward that game, but you're going to build up that skill better by playing that game. In every case. But you might not be desiring to get good at one game. If you're desiring to get good at KoF games, then yeah, play a KoF game, but which KoF game do you play? I would say 13. Because 13 is the most KoF-y KoF there is. But it also has a bunch of other stuff. If you want to get good at Tekken, it honestly doesn't matter which one you play, but probably play the most popular one, so Tekken 8, when it comes out in a month. But you can still play Tekken 7, you just won't get as much competition playing Tekken 7, because they're all playing Tekken 8. KoF also has that problem though. Where no one plays KoF 14 or 13 anymore. Some of them play 13. Some of them play 02 UM. Some of them play the older ones. No one plays 12. We don't talk about 12. "12 was like a 13 beta. But they needed the money, so they sold it as its own game. Yeah, I mean, people don't play KoF anywhere. It's just not a popular game. You have to join a Discord and meet people from your region on Discord. And that's a problem with 13 as well, because 13 has horrible netcode, so you also need to have a neighbor. Like, not just someone in EU, but a direct neighbor of yours. Within 100 miles of you. Otherwise, you have a bad connection. 15 is a little bit better than 13 in that regard. So again, the question is, what are you trying to get good at, and what do you mean by good? Which game? Or if you don't have a specific game, which franchise? Or if you don't have a specific franchise, which genre? Do you just want to get good at 2D games in general? Because 2D fighting games is very broad. Most 3D fighting games are pretty similar, like Soul Calibur and Tekken and Virtua Fighter share a lot in common. They're not one-to-one copies, obviously, but they're pretty similar. But there's a huge difference between Street Fighter and Guilty Gear. I'm interested in Street Fighter VI, I guess, then play Street Fighter VI. Although you don't sound so sure of yourself, so I would ask you, what part of Street Fighter VI are you interested in? Why are you interested in Street Fighter VI? Because if it's the characters, then yeah, you should play Street Fighter VI. But if it's the mechanics, then maybe a different game would better suit that interest. If you like looking at Cammy's butt, play Street Fighter VI. If you like footsies, all the potential not-so-local tournaments, play these modern... So, you're interested in Street Fighter VI because it's popular. Street Fighter will always be the most popular game. Oh, I'm interested in meeting new people. I see. Well, you don't even need a fighting game for that, although that would be something to bond over, I guess. Like, hell, you like fighting games too? Nobody even heard of Melty here? Yeah, it's a pretty niche genre. Probably not going to get another game for a while. And let me look at how well it's doing. Game, DB, Melty, Blood, Type, Lumina. Yeah, not with Uni 2. Steam charts. Yikes. It peaked at 13,000 players when it first came out 2 years ago, but now it can't even hit 200 players. Ooh. Which is a shame, because I prefer Melty. Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't know enough about how I feel about Under Night, because I didn't play it very much, because it doesn't have rollback. The new one does. Or will. Oh, look, the puppy left. Took you long enough. How did I drop it? Oh, I see. I dropped it. Ah, I missed. That's not right. Oops. Do it again. Dropped it. Actually, the combo might still work if I do that. I'm not sure. Let me try it. If I do... No, it doesn't work. Just straight up doesn't work. Whoa. I think KoF looks coolest. What do you mean looks? Like visually? I think this game looks great. I don't think the new ones look great. Especially 14. 15's acceptable. Yeah, but it took them a lot of time and effort to make these sprites, so it's never gonna happen again. Unfortunately. And there is a new version, but it's console only, and it has rollback. That's really the only change they made, was adding rollback. I don't know why they only had it on console, because so it started on arcade only, and then they patched it with new updates and balance changes for console, and they didn't update the arcade version, and then they patched it again for PC only, and they didn't update the console version, and now they've gone back to only doing the console version. I don't get it. We probably lost the PC source code. But they didn't lose the console source code? Also, I could... If they gave me all the sprites, I could probably remake this entire game with rollback in less than a year by myself. Well, If I had the console version, I could remake the Steam version. I'll word it that way. If I had the source code for the not even that. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to convert from non-rollback to rollback. The hard part is making it not lag when you do that. And so if I already had all the sprites made, I would probably choose to rebuild the game from the ground up for the best possible rollback. Yeah, and that would take... If I worked non-stop, a year. I think. I know enough about how the game is programmed and how to interpret it to where I can do that. Ignoring all the single-player stuff, because no one plays single-player. I can get training mode, mission mode, online mode. All 36 characters. All stages. All the gameplay mechanics. There's no RNG, is there? Yeah, there's no RNG in this game, so I don't need to worry about that. So it should be pretty good. Do I get Rollback is okay in Fightcade? Yes. And Rollback has that very easy version of Rollback. Fightcade does the very easy version of Rollback, where they just roll back the whole game. And for newer games, that would cause problems because of lag. They didn't really need any source code to implement this. Well, no. Because, this game probably wouldn't work with Fightcade on modern hardware, or on relatively modern hardware, because it's too... It would be too laggy. So the way Rollback works is it goes back and it re-simulates frames multiple times. So just by default, like offline with delay-based netcode online, those only simulate 1 frame per frame. It just delays your inputs. But when you have Rollback, it has to go back and re-simulate multiple frames per frame. So each frame of Rollback adds an extra frame that it has to simulate. So if you have 3 frames of Rollback, then the CPU is working 4 times as hard. That's only contained within the things that are being rolled back. You don't need to roll back visuals. You don't need to roll back music. And anything that is predictable based on 1 frame and not what happened previously, you don't need to roll back. Now, things you do need to roll back are things that change based on what happened in the past, in the recent past, as well as things that can change things in the future. For example, if I press a button, you need to make sure that it gets rolled back, because if you don't roll it back, then I might get dropped inputs on one side but not the other, and then you have a desync. It's okay if the visuals are desynced. It's okay if the music is desynced. It's not okay if the gameplay is desynced. So that's how you optimize rollback, is you say, this is all the stuff that needs to get rolled back, this is all the stuff that does not. But what Fightcade does is they're like, entire game, rolled back. That's what Fightcade does. And so, when you have a game like KoF XIII, they didn't... When making the game, they didn't develop the game as, this is all the stuff that needs to get rolled back. You technically don't need to roll back sounds, but if you don't, you'll have weird artifacts, where a sound plays when it shouldn't, or a sound doesn't play when it should. That doesn't cause desyncs, because there's no gameplay related to that. Unless you have a line of code that says when a sound finishes playing, you do this. Then it would cause a desync. But no, I don't think any fighting games do that. Hopefully. There are games that do that, though. Like there are games that, if you speedrun them, you have to turn off the volume. Because turning off the volume makes it... makes the game go faster. Because there are lines of code that say, when this sound effect is done playing, you do this. So it waits for the sound to stop playing. But if you turn off your volume, it never starts, so it goes instantly. Most games don't do that, but some do. Not to name any names. I also know a game that ties things to when subtitles go away. So if you turn off the subtitles, the speedrun gets faster. But also, if you limit the maximum number of rollback, which you should, then you can also say, so let's say your rollback is 3 frames. Anything that takes longer than 3 frames, you don't necessarily need to roll it back. You can, well, what you're saying is implementing rollback is no joke. If you want to do it right, you have to have rollback in mind from the very start of the game. Like, how you program how the controller works is important. Because I want to roll back as little stuff as possible. So, for example, Street Fighter 6 or 5 rather was not designed to have rollback. When it came out, it did not have rollback. They patched in really bad rollback later on. And what would happen is people would mash buttons, and that would cause the game to lag. People would just be online mashing buttons, and the opponent's machine would lag. Because the way the game is programmed is when you press a button, a method is called, like a function is called every time you press a button. So if you press a button, a bunch of buttons really, really fast, right? So let's say the rollback was 5 frames. All 5 of those frames, you're pressing multiple different buttons. So every single frame, you're rolling back all of those functions. All of it. And different logic happens every time a button press is simulated. So that's why Street Fighter V has complete garbage rollback. It's because of how they implemented their input system. They're like, oh, every time I press a button, let's run a function. That's not how most fighting games work if they're designed with rollback in mind. If you're designing things with rollback in mind, there's not a function every time you press a button. There is one function that runs one time every frame and determines, based on all of the buttons and directions that you're holding, what your character should do. There's one function. And hopefully it's not a bunch of nested if statements, but rather a switch statement where it's possible. You do need you do need one set of if else statements, but you don't need if. That's horrible. Don't do that. But yeah, Street Fighter was not designed with that in mind, which is why Street Fighter V has horrible netcode. Street Fighter 6 was also not designed with that in mind, I think, based on how the simultaneous input assistance function works. But I don't have the source code, so I don't know. But they somehow made rollback work. Is this trial 10? Nope. 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 2-frame links are too hard. 2-frame links are too hard. No, I pressed the wrong button. That's not the right move. Why is this so hard? Man. This trial's incomprehensible? What's incomprehensible about it? So, man, all of this character's combos are really fluid. Because you're not doing things as early as possible. If you do this combo as early as possible, it drops. Because they're too high, your attack goes below them and it whiffs, and they fall. But doing it as fast as possible is pretty tough. So you're probably going to have delays in there somewhere so that it evens out. But if you're too slow, then they fall too far and your attack goes over them and they fall to the ground. So you have to make sure you're not too fast. You have to make sure you're not too slow. But the window of possibilities is good. It's like there's a wide range of heights that work. Until the very end. The very end of this combo is pretty tight. But that part. I actually got it, but I failed the super motion because I'm on a hitbox. I don't like pretzels on hitbox. This is a combo you can get if you just practice it for a day. Especially on stick. You just have to have the willpower and determination and not have carpal tunnel. Well, you probably shouldn't be playing fighting games if you have a carpal tunnel, so ooh, I missed it. Man. So there are two main hard parts, like, that are individually hard. The first one is this freaking 2-frame link. You had to land two 2-frame links at the beginning. And also, This combo is actually optimal. Optimal damage. Most trials are not like this, but the optimal way, well, it's almost optimal. The optimal combo looks similar to this. Like you're doing all the same pieces. The stuff in the middle is not quite right. You can watch my video on Mature from like 2 years ago or whatever to learn the optimal stuff. But, like this, the 2-frame link is optimal. How you spend your excess meter is optimal. So for your combos, you just do that. She has a specific ender that she uses, and she has a specific opener that she uses. And this is her opener. Any extra meter that you don't plan to spend on the ender, you spend it like this. There it is. I'll do it again. Dang. There it is. I did it twice, I'm happy. Ah. This one's a lot easier. Because these, this one is a 3-frame link, not a 2-frame link. Double tapping. Well, let me go over plinking first, because plinking is dead. Plinking exists in Street Fighter IV and Street Fighter X Tekken, because they were built on the same engine. That's it. So plinking no longer exists. It's only in that one game engine. Although people will use the term plink to refer to the input that you did on the controller. So that mechanic is not present in games, but the term can be used to refer to how you did the mechanic. And if it's used in that sense, it is pressing 2 buttons quickly. Like if I press light punch Can I explain plinking? I'm not going to install Street Fighter 4, but I will explain how it works. It is like, so if I press light punch, and then on the next frame I press heavy punch, that is a plink. There you go. And the way plinking works is in Street Fighter 4, if you did that, it would count as you pressing that first button twice, which is normally impossible. Like, even if I double tap really fast, most fighting games would just see it as you holding the button down. Like, if I manage to, within the span of 2 frames, press, release, and press a button on the second frame, the game would just be like, you held the button down. You didn't actually press it twice. But in Street Fighter 4, if you did that, the game would actually auto-correct it and say that you pressed it twice. So the main way you would do this is so it has to do... The P stands for priority. It is priority link. P-link, plink. It is a priority link. So the way priority works is, if I press, in this game, if I press light punch plus heavy punch, I get heavy punch. If I press light kick plus heavy kick, I get heavy kick. So there is a priority list in the game's code where the game starts. Where the game starts at the top and says, okay, let me look for your supers. Did you input a super? No. Did you input this super? No, etc. And then it goes to specials. Did you input this special? No. What about this special? No. This special? No. Okay. And then eventually it goes to your normals. Did you input this normal? No. Did you input this normal? No. Did you input this normal? Yes. And etc. At the very bottom of that list is standing still. So if you do absolutely nothing, your character stands still. That's at the bottom of the list. Right above standing still is like walking and crouching and jumping and stuff. And then above that you have your normals. Then above that you have your specials. And it needs to have this list to make sure you can't. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about with the if else. That has to exist in the game somehow. It is possible to make it not that by using a for loop, but then you have the exact same type of check for each one. But that's basically the same. Anyway. You need to have that list so that if I press 2 buttons, if I press 2 buttons at the same time, it knows which of the 2 buttons to give me, even if I don't have a move that is designated as those 2 buttons. Because if I don't do that, then I have to have a specific case that says, if I press light punch and heavy punch at the same time, just default to heavy punch. And you need to do that, and you'll need that for every single button combination, which is not, don't do that. Just have a list, and have light punch plus heavy punch not on that list. And then so it'll skip over it and pick whichever one of the 2 is higher in the list. So heavy punch has higher priority in that priority list. It is higher in the list than light punch. So if I input the 2 of them at the same time, I will always get heavy punch and not light punch. Okay. And so a priority link is saying, when I plink these 2 buttons together, I can make my link combos easier. So imagine, by the way, Street Fighter 4 has no input buffer. So 1-frame links are truly 1-frame links, unless you plink them, in which case they become 2-frame links. So let's say this here is the frame that you're trying to attack with your first attack, and now Let's say you're doing a 1-frame link. So you're doing a +5 on hit move into a 5-frame startup attack. You need to press the button on this frame. Let's say it's the A button, whatever that is. You need to press the button on this frame. Otherwise, the combo does not work. That's how Street Fighter IV works. Most links are usually like 2 to 3 frame, but there are 1-frame links in Street Fighter IV that are very important. However, because of that priority glitch thing that I talked about earlier, what you can do is you can, let's say A has higher priority. What you can do is you can press A and then A plus B on the next frame, right? So most fighting games that aren't Street Fighter IV will say you held the button down. You held the button down, going from this frame to the next frame. Street Fighter IV does not do that. Only if you press a different button on the next frame. If you press 2 different buttons on 2 consecutive frames, then it will break that connection and say you pressed the button twice. Again, if you literally press the button twice in 2 frames, the game will still register it as you having held the button down for 2 frames. But because of this glitch / input quirk, it breaks that tie and says, oh, you actually pressed the button twice. And the reason they did this was to make EX moves easier, or any system that requires you to press multiple buttons. In this game, for example, that does not exist. Oh, that's not a move. This. So this is quarter circle back and punch. If I press quarter circle back in both punches, I get the blue one. I get the EX one. If I'm a frame off on my button presses, it doesn't register it right. And I don't get the EX move. So this is sort of an annoyance, right? Because it's like, well, I didn't mean to hit the buttons 1 frame apart. I meant to hit them at the same time. I just failed at doing it. Right? And so it's kind of annoying. But they solved it in Street Fighter by doing the plinking thing, where it breaks it like this. And the other step is to make the meterless version cancelable into the EX version on its first frame. That's how they solved it. Is 1, they allowed this plinking thing, and 2, they allowed the first frame of all your attacks to be canceled into certain things that require 2 button presses on the next frame. That's called a Kara cancel, is when you cancel on the first frame. This game also has Karas, but they're not useful. Well, actually, I don't think 13 has Karas, but 15 definitely has Karas, and they're not useful. Actually, no, this does have some Karas. You can Kara into a CD. So if I press C and then D later, or D and then C later, that will actually give me CD. Tekken does not do this for most attacks. Tekken does something different called tweening. 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 But anyway, plinking. What plinking does is it you're abusing half of the system. So again, one part of the system was if you press 2 buttons on 2 consecutive frames, it repeats this. It repeats the input for the first button. And the second part of it is you can cancel all of your special move. Well, you can cancel all of your moves on the first frame into things that require 2 or more button presses. Those 2 things combined let you do this input poorly, but it still gives you the move you want. That was Street Fighter 4's solution to the problem. The way Street Fighter 5 and later handled it was different. They, instead of literally repeating the input, the game allows you to not quite hit them on the same frame, and it'll still trigger an EX move. So they got rid of the double input. So instead of doubling your input, they allow the input to be wrong, right? So it's the difference of fixing the input to be correct and allowing the input to be wrong. That's how they patched plinking in Street Fighter 5. But in Street Fighter 4, it repeats the input. So what happens is we don't care about the other half. We only care about the first half. So again, this is the frame here. And we need to hit the button on this frame right here, otherwise the combo won't work. So what plinking does is it increases the window to 2 frames, because you're allowed to be on time, right? Like say I press A and then A plus B. And A has higher priority. That's important. Because if B has higher priority, it gives you B, which is not what you want. Which means that you can't plink with your light attacks with an asterisk. But most of the time you're not linking to light attacks anyway. But you can plink like this, and this will work because you're actually doing it properly, right? You're pressing A on the frame, but also you're not Kara canceling because the game only lets you cancel into attacks that require 2 button presses. So if A plus B is its own move, this won't work, because you'll just get 1 frame of the A and you'll Kara cancel that into A plus B. So that doesn't work. But if A and B are different attacks and there's no attack that is A plus B, then it works. But I can also be 1 frame early. If I'm 1 frame early, it's like this. A here, A plus B. This also works because on this frame, it counts as you having pressed A again. That works. Tekken is different. Tekken uses something called tweening. And tweening is when you start an animation late. So, for example, they removed this in Tekken 8, but in Tekken 7, Xiaoyu has this move. Well, let's see. Let me draw it how it is in the move list. In the move list, it's like this. It's like this. They put the 2 buttons in brackets. And this is separated, by the way. This is two different icons right here. So you're pressing right kick and left kick. And the way you do it is you press right kick and then left kick quickly. You literally press left kick during the startup of right kick. But here's the thing. The startup of this, I forget what the startup is. It's like 25 or something. But the startup of this move is always the same, no matter how quickly you press the buttons. So even if I press 3 on this frame and then 4 on this frame, the startup of the move is always well, let's pull it back. Let's say it's 5 frame startup. If I press 3 on this frame, it doesn't matter when I press 4, as long as I press it within 5 frames. If I press 4, like, it doesn't matter where I press it in these frames. I always get the attack to come out and hit on frame 5. Bam. It always hits on this frame. That is tweening. If I press 3 and then 4 on the next frame, the move still connects on frame 5. If I press 3 and then 4 on the third frame, I still get the move to hit on this frame. If I press it late here, it still connects on this frame. And finally, if I press 4 on the 5th frame, it connects on that frame. This is not the same as 1 plus 2. For example, she also had 3 plus 4 as a move. Well, it wasn't an attack, it was a spinny motion. But if you press 3 plus 4, that gives you the spin. But if you press 3 slide 4 or 3 tilde 4, you get this move, which hits on frame 5. And the way they accomplished this was with tweening, which is to say, well, we're gonna start with 3. Like 3 is its own attack, like standing left kick. We're gonna start with this animation, but as soon as he hits 4, or if he hits 4 during this 4 frame window from frame 2 to frame 5, if he hits 4 during this window, then we're gonna switch it up and do 3. So there are 3 possible moves. You have 3. You have 3 plus 4, and you have 3 slide 4. These are 3 different moves that all look very different. 3 is a cross leg kick that hits them in the face, and you can combo after it. 3 plus 4 is a overhead flip kick that hits mid, and is a counter hit launcher. And is, I think, plus on block? No, it's like slightly minus on block, but you can go into AOP and do mix-ups off of it, so it's basically plus. 3 tilde 4 is the move I just talked about on accident. 3 plus 4 is the spinny motion that doesn't do anything. It just spins her around and goes into like the. I think it goes to the right, not always the foreground or background. But anyway, these are all different attacks, and 3 tilde 4 always has the same startup from when you press 3, always, because of tweening. I'm not aware of any other fighting game that tweens. I made a fighting game that tweens. You can find it on my YouTube channel somewhere if you think if you work really, really hard. You'll find it. Oops. Oh, it's later than that. Too early. There it is. That's a lot easier than the other one. No, puppy. No. Yeah, button release input is also called negative edge. This game does not have it. So it's called negative edge. All that means is button release. So you can do... I don't know how to show it in this game. But you can watch my inputs in the bottom right corner. You can do a fireball by doing down, down, forward, forward, punch. Right? Like that. I am pressing the button. But in Street Fighter games and many other games... Oh, I have Killer Instinct. I can show it with Killer Instinct. That's not the right button. For special moves only. Will it show it here? No, it doesn't. Okay. For special moves only, you can release the button instead of pressing it. Right? So, this is his fireball. Quarter forward punch. You can see my inputs. Down, down forward, forward, punch. I can also hold punch, and then do the motion, and then release the button. At the same timing that I would have pressed it. So again, there's no punch. Right? That's me releasing punch. I hold punch. Same with Shuriken. Whoops. Same with Shuriken. Oh, too slow. There we go. Same with Shuriken. Same with Tatsu. It does not work for normals, obviously. If I press it and then release it, I don't get standing light punch. This is only for special moves. Also supers. Oh, not supers. Oh, I'll meter. Meter. There, supers. Why is this there? To make specials more consistent. For example. I mean... This game does not have that problem, I guess. But like, say... This game is also very loud, by the way. Blah. There we go. Yes, it triggers on press and release. Which means that if I press it and release it, I get 2 chances to do the move. So if I get knocked down, for example, then I can press and release the button. And if I'm too early on the button press, the button release will do it. Yeah. And in this case, I can also wake up with it with any of the 3 versions. So there's light punch, medium punch, and heavy punch. Right? So theoretically, I could give myself 6 chances to do a wake up shuriken. Wow. There we go. Right, so I can just time it with 1 button press. Or I can piano it. This is called pianoing, is where I press, 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 release, release, release. There are 6 chances to get the shuriken. And this only really matters in games that don't have buffers, like old Street Fighter games, like Street Fighter 3. For example, with Street Fighter 3, you could do Hayate with Makoto, and then it's a 1-frame link to her super, which is quarter forward punch. So what you would do is you would do punch, 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 release, 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 and you get it would basically turn the 1-frame link into a 6-frame link because you pianoed it. But there are reasons to not have it on, because what if you don't want to negative edge, right? Say I'm doing this, right? I'm trying to buffer my crouch medium kick into wind kick. This is an unsafe on block move, right? So think about like Cammy with her drill, right? She would do this into spiral arrow. But if I have negative edge on, there's a reasonable chance for me doing that, right? It's less likely on a medium, but if I'm doing light, like I want it to be this, right? On whiff, I want it to not do anything. I want it to do the jab and stop. But with negative edge, there's a greater chance of me getting that, where I whiff the jab and then cancel into the wind kick because I release the button. You can get around that by holding it down, right? Like if I hold the button down for extra long, I don't get it, but that's kind of annoying, right? Anyway. But yeah, there are also some things, very rarely, that you need negative edge turned on to do. The only thing that comes to mind is Jury's thing from Street Fighter 4. But you can't turn it off in that game, so yeah. In Street Fighter 5, I turn it off because it's more annoying than it is helpful, because I mean everything is a 5-frame window at minimum anyway, so there's no reason to have there's no reason to have a negative edge on in Street Fighter 6. Anyway, malware bytes. Yep. It is a 4-frame buffer, which means that a 1-frame link has a 5-frame window. Which is very, very large. Already did yours. Ugh. Okay. I'm getting hungry. No problem. If you have more questions, just ask. And if I'm not streaming, Discord. I keep doing the Tekken restart, which is where you hold select and then press A. But you just need to press select in this game. Oh, I dropped it. Wow. That's unfortunate. Considering that's the easy part. Oh, this is hard. Too fast. Wrong button. Too slow. Ah, super. Whew. Height. Ah, the easiest trial in the game. Wrong move. Dang. Oh, that's hard. Oh, God. Dang. Blah. That's not the right motion. Oops. That works, actually. And it's cheaper. But not what the child wants from you. Oh, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. I gotta make sure I don't do that. I need to miss with the middle rekka. Oops. Dang it, so close. Oh. Oops. Dang it. I did too many reps. I just needed a super. God dang it. Do 2, not 3. You can do like 4, but there we go. Easiest trial in the game. Ugh. Yeah. HD combos tend to loop. Like this one. Like they tend to loop, so you get a rhythm from the combo. This is the hardest move in the game to perform. Holy moly. Double half circle. Oops. No, you can't. Okay. Whew. Alright, see you later, Gar. What day is it? Thursday, I think? Yeah. I'm gonna finish this trial and then go eat food. And then back to Tekken 8 waiting mode. Dang it. I can't do this stupid super. Blah. My fingers are turning to jelly trying to do half circles. I can't do it. Come on. Oops. Do that. That's pretty consistent, okay. Yeah. So what I did there was I focused on pressing left and right at the same time. So I did. Ugh. So I did. Let me close the game. So I did left, all three, right. Left, all three, right. Because all three gives you down. Because the left and right cancel. Only if you're on this stick mode. My other stick mode would not do that. And that would not work. Anyway. Thanks for watching. Join on YouTube, subscribe on Twitch. Patreon exists. Discord. All that. I'm gonna go eat food. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I might stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what I would stream though. But yeah. Bye.